Sage Wanderer here, and this is the little building where I had my first church. This used to be a church. This little storefront building used to be my church. This was the Greatest Commandment Church, and I started this church before I went to work for the devil fighting church. In fact, this little church that I started was in my first video. I don't even remember the name of it anymore, where I talked about this becoming a youth pastor. But anyway, I closed this church down, and while I still had the last load of pews and things in my back of my pickup, I walked into the devil fighting church, and that's when my journey started there. But cute little story about when I was a pastor here. I had a young lady that was going to my church, and you know, she just started coming, and I was experimenting when I had this church with afternoon church, and part of it was I had a morning church in another town, and so I started doing an afternoon church, and it attracted a lot of people that don't normally go to church, you know, and so she was coming to my church, but she went out on First Monday. They have First Monday, which is like in Weatherford, which is like used to be like a big flea market, and they sell animals and stuff too. And this woman had been out there, and she bought a pot-bellied pig. And she did not want to leave the pot-bellied pig in her pickup, in her car, but she also didn't want, this is the craziest story, she didn't want to miss church. And I made a weird decision because I wanted the girl in my church. I wanted to preach to her, you know, it was important. And so anyway, she she brought this pot-bellied pig in, and I put him in my office. And I thought everything was going to be good. We had him in a little cage in my office. But then, about the time I started preaching, when the music stopped and I started preaching, this pig went to squealing. And this pig squealed the entire time I preached, and I never got my message out, and it was just, you know what, it was the most awkward church service of my entire life, where we were trying to have church the whole time while a pot-bellied pig squealed from my office in the other room. All right, I had to share that story with you. I'm always nostalgic when I come by and see this building. It's obviously a second-hand resale shop now, but this is my first church that I ever started, and that was in Weatherford, Texas. But anyway, I had to take a picture, and I thought I'd share the story of the pot-bellied pig at church. God save us.